Hey everyone, I'm Michael Majors.
And I'm Ross Merriam.
And you're watching the Versus series on StarCityGames.com. All right, today on the Versus series, leading up into SG Tour Stop in Orlando, we're playing a little bit of Modern. Probably one of the last times, if not the last time, before Kaladesh comes out. So we got some kind of familiar favorites in store for you today. I'm playing Affinity, and Ross is playing Red Green Through the Breach.
Yeah, a deck that I've sort of had my eye on a bit for the last month or so, and had I not latched onto Dredge, this might have been a deck that I played in the deck I played in Syracuse at the Invitational, and it did quite well at Grand Prix Indianapolis, putting 2 people into the top 8.
Yeah, I think it's really powerful. Probably still like an underrated deck at this point. I also saw it beat the crap out of you on camera in that very tournament.
Well, we won't go into details, but those games were closer than they looked.
Yeah, I'm sure they were, but from a spectator's point of view, it was just like
it was
Digger pound or Graph Digger's Cage pound you.
It definitely looked like a slaughter. And the thing about the Through the Breach deck is it's a little faster, I think, than most people expect it to be. Especially with Through the Breach, you can kill on turn 3 or 4, and you definitely kill by 5 in almost every game. Very consistent getting a turn 4 Titan down, and if you get to untap and attack with it, the game essentially ends on the spot. So you're half a turn to a turn slower than the really degenerate combo decks in Modern, but you're much more resilient and very consistent. And those things, they count for a lot. Granted, the matchup against those degenerate decks, because they're faster, is not great. In fact, definitely praise on this deck. But you punish anyone stumbling with your consistency, and you're a lot better against the fair decks than a lot of those other combo decks are. Yeah,
and I think a lot of the times, too, the turn before you actually literally kill your opponent, you're able to stabilize the battlefield a little bit because you're like playing a Titan and maybe get like an activation off your Valakut, maybe even 2.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing is pretty understated, I think.
Yeah, it definitely helps to just buy you that extra turn and make up in the gap in speed because your combo naturally interacts with creatures.
Yep.
You can just throw a couple lightning bolts around and then untap and throw about 7 at your opponent's face.
It's also like really resilient to hate. Usually, if people are interacting with you in a positive way, you can kind of just slow the game down and just kill them by making your land drops eventually.
Yep. And if they're trying to go hard on interacting with your land, say blood mooning you or playing a lot of Fulminator mages or something, then you can just win with creatures.
Yep.
Primeval Titan attacks for 6.
Yeah. Also, you just have like a random mid-range plan of PN Kira Noir attacking with 6/6 Titans, some Obstinate Bayless out of the board maybe. So,
yep.
Yeah, I think the deck is underrated. It kind of looks mopey, but it's just pretty powerful.
Yeah, and this is Rob Paisano's list, second place from Grand Prix Indianapolis, and we'll see how it does against one of the just old. I'm
playing boring old Affinity. It is what it is.
Yeah, the old guard of Modern, we'll say.
Yeah, this matchup's just going to be a race. I think if I can kill Ross in somewhere around turn 4 to 5 on the play, turn 5 might be good enough.
Yep.
I'll probably win. If not, I'll get burnt out by a bunch of Molten Pinnacle triggers. So, we'll see what happens.
Roll some dice. Die roll matters a lot.
Yeah, I never win, so I probably did.
Pair of 4s.
Yep.
Didn't I? I thought you jinxed me there.
Nope.
Okay, everybody, here for game 1. I'm on a mulligan of 6, and this is not an exciting hand. But on 6 cards, with a little bit of interaction, I think it is fine. We definitely know what we're scrying for, so we'll see how that works.
My 7 is definitely good, not great. On the draw, I would be a little skeptical being able to beat Ross, but he did take a mulligan, so we'll see.
And scry, and that's perfect. So I will play this tapped Sacred Foundry and pass.
Okay. I don't think that changes anything, but we can play this land first instead. So I'll play Springleaf Drum, then play Memnite, and then play a
Stormcount 3.
Go.
Okay. I will suspend a search for tomorrow and pass the turn.
Okay. Play Pay 2 life, play Vault Scourge.
Here at 18.
Darkbone Ravager.
I will respond by bolting the Signal Pest.
Maybe I'm supposed to attack first. I don't know. It's up to you.
19.
Go.
This goes to 1. Anger the Gods. Play Valakut and pass.
So Ross can play Titan in 2 turns. So I don't think it's possible to kill him before then, but I definitely do want to put as much pressure on him as I can. I think I'm basically just going to cast all my things and then move in on my first Ravager. So I'll play Ravager.
Yep.
Pay 2 life, play Vault Scourge. Don't think the difference between 18 and 16 is relevant. And this leaves up Blinkmoth Nexus. And then I will attack and then sack these 2 to Ravager.
So I take 5, you gain 1.
5. I could sack this Ravager. Would that, let's see, it would be 7 damage this turn. Puts Ross to 12, then 7, 8, 9, 10.
This is still the 2-turn clock.
Still 2-turn clock. Unless I draw any 1-mana artifact. Doesn't matter. 3, 4, 5. 14. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it is actually better. Or maybe it's better just to sack the Vault Scourge.
Could just be correct to just deal 9 and hope to draw something.
Sack everything. Maybe that is right.
Affinity is a difficult deck because it's hard to know what exactly to do in spots like this.
Yeah.
Is the optionality more valuable or just cutting me off the extra turn?
Could just sack all 3 of these, and that would be 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. Put Ross to 10, and then we are covered from a blocker or Nahiri or basically anything.
Can also potentially cut me off a fetch land if I need to use one.
Yeah, I think that's just actually right.
Yeah.
So
this ghost is 7.
7.
So I'm at 10.
Go.
Oh, you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble?
I said we.
Oh, okay.
Me and all of my many fans, all in trouble.
The Ross contingent.
Yeah.
In lots of trouble.
I'm not sure what we can draw.
Yeah, I think thinking about it about 12 seconds more, this actually, you just don't have any outs. Just because of the flyer. I guess end of turn you could go bolt this and then present double Sakura Tri-Builder. Maybe that's like an out? I don't know.
Well, Summoner's Pact.
You can. Oh no, you can't even pack for P and Karen.
Nope, but I can pact for Obstinate Baloth.
Oh, I didn't realize it was in the main deck.
There's one in the main.
Oh crap!
But I don't think it really gets me anywhere because I have to pay 4 mana for the pack next turn.
Yeah, so you get a 14.
You can go, but it's the only way I survive the turn.
Let's see. All right, that's kind of awkward. So I definitely don't want to send the Mimnite because that just forces me to sack it, put it on the Ravager. But I guess if Ross does that, then he takes 9, goes to 5, pays for Pact.
Yeah, I think I'm chumping the Ravager no matter what you do. Because I can actually survive the next turn if I do that.
12. Does it change anything though? So if you go to 12, then 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I don't think it changes anything in some weird scenario where. Yeah, I'm just going to send these two.
Right.
All right. I'm at 18, you're at 13.
Yep.
Go.
Cut. Here, I guess that's not a thing. Upkeep, pay for pact.
Yep.
Okay. You can go.
So I could deal 10, 11. Don't think that's good, so just take 9.
I'm at 4, you're at 19.
Yep. Go.
Okay. Well,
If I just gain 7 additional life there, does that change anything? Because you can't just kill me, right?
so best case scenario, I can play a 4th mountain, Primeval Titan, get 2 mountains, and deal 12.
Okay, yeah.
So, I will play mountain and play a P and Karen Nalar.
Sure.
You can go.
Maybe I should move it to Vault Skirt in response. Don't think so. What happens if I do that?
Seems like at this point you just want options.
You just block this, kill Memnite. That's pretty bad for me. So,
yeah.
Play Springleaf Drum.
Yep.
It's actually pretty good. So now I have double black, but I think this turn I'm still just going to... I don't want to be obligated to make a move. So if I send everything, then I guess Ross just goes like this. And if he shoots Vault Scourge, he dies. So you probably have to go like this. And then likely passes priority. Then I can move, or no, I can't move if I send everything. So this game actually ended up being pretty complicated.
Yeah, P and Karen was a solid draw.
If I send these two, probably just... Okay, so there's no scenario where I guess I can force Ross to either commit Pia or commit both Thopters, basically no matter what. So this is probably better for him. I don't think I'm missing anything obvious. Very well could be.
It's all pretty much on the board.
Yeah, all right, just send these two.
Okay.
Maybe if I send this, then I can just move the plating on here if you block with Pia, and that's actually better. Because then you have to go like this. Yeah, this is better. Okay, send these two.
So then if I go like this and you move the plating, I can just sack this here and force you to do something. Either if you want to kill my Pia, then you'd have to move the Ravager over to the Memnite. So I like that.
Yeah, all right, so I'll just move it to Memnite.
And I will sacrifice the Thopter that is blocking.
Sure. Go.
That went well. And I think we're just in the market for playing any land we draw. We are now 1 away from Valakut, so every mountain from now on will start doing stuff. And every ramp spell.
Attack.
That was an interesting draw. It gives Michael another attacker that I need flyers to block. So you
still have to commit both.
If I draw... So I want to set myself up to draw Primeval Titan And Primeval Titan can deal, I guess it can deal 12. So even if the Ravager counters end up being on a flyer, I have some outs. Not many, just Summoner's Pact and Titan and Oath of Nissa to dig for them. A single land only deals 6. So... Certainly need to block both. So I guess we will.
Alright, so now I'm going to move the plating onto Vault Scourge.
And So I can prevent Michael from gaining life right now by sacrificing and trying to kill Signal Pest. That will leave the plating on the Vault Scourge, so you won't have to equip next turn. I'm not sure that's relevant because he just has excess mana with no cards in hand. Either of these creatures equipped with plating is going to be lethal next turn, so I think just preventing as much as I can right now and getting sort of value out of my Thopter is important. So I'll sacrifice. P down. Okay. And what does that do? So I can Farseek.
Don't think there's any reason to move. Just let him do the triggers.
And yeah, there's just nothing I can do here with only 2 triggers. I can deal 9 total damage, but I need it distributed a lot differently. If I had drawn a Primeval Titan there, then I could have dealt enough damage to kill the Ravager and then bolted the Vault Scourge with the modular trigger in the stack and been in excellent shape. So
yep.
Okay, here for game 2, and I once again light on a ramp, but this hand has a lot of good tools in it, so I'll keep.
Definitely missing a piece from this hand. I think it's barely good enough to keep. It's actually pretty fast, or I have a pretty fast clock even if I just brick off completely. So I think this is fine. Not sure.
Okay. Stomping ground.
That's worst possible.
Perfect. Yeah, storm count 3.
Go.
And stomping ground.
Oop, that was good. Attack.
Before you declare, I will bolt the Signal Pest.
Okay.
You want to attack with Memnite?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a 19.
All right. Now I'll just play Ravager. Go.
Okay. I will play an Anger, and if Michael wants to save his Ravager, he has to sacrifice everything.
Well, don't see how else I'm winning this game.
Yep.
I guess I could make a 2/4 Ornithopter.
Yeah, true.
And keep a land.
Land.
That's
2/4 flyer plus land, or
better.
a 4/4.
2 more power is really important, but I do have other stuff in my hand, so I could like hit Ross for 4, then play this next turn, and still have access to this down the line, but this is probably never going to be castable. Whereas I'll probably get the damage back eventually if I draw a mana source. But having some flexibility with Ravager is good.
Once again, Affinity is hard.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier if you don't draw Arcbound Ravager.
That is true.
That's the card that gives you all the decisions, but it's also why it's an excellent card. So it's easier to play, harder to win when you don't draw Ravager.
This card is not good in this matchup, so I do think just having the flexibility of the Ravager is going to be more powerful. Okay.
That's where I slaughter packed your Ravager or something with the black source.
Attack you.
I'm at 15.
Go.
Okay, well, we've been a little slow this game, so I think our best bet is to go to 14 and pact for Obstinate Baloth again. Gonna get a mountain, go back up to 18, and pass the turn.
It's actually an interesting decision.
You have Gal Blast.
I certainly have the impression that Ross will snap block. So if I draw a mana source, then I can play this and sack my Mox or anything else. I mean, functionally, Blast probably isn't going to get better than this. And right now, Ravager represents at least 5 damage, so I guess we'll just kill this.
Yeah, that seems...
Okay. Play Springleaf Drum, attack you for 5.
13.
Go.
Pay for pact.
Yep.
That's going to be... You can go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just wanted to buy myself time to draw a land.
What is the difference between attacking Ross for... I think we'll just do this. Play Etched Champion, sack, attack you for 5.
I'm at 8.
Go.
Okay. Okay, interesting. So I'm assuming that we have to do this. I'm going to go to 6. Need to prevent 6 damage, so I have 5 I'm going to have 5 mountains in play, so I can get Valakut Mountain off the first trigger, and then Valakut Mountain again, that's 3, or I can just get Valakut Mountain, that's better. So I'll get my 4 triggers. Valakut is a land, so notably it does just deal 3 damage to Etched Champion. Well, that does leave us with a problem, though. If we Valakut first, then if we Valakut first, then all of our triggers go on the stack at once, and we have to choose all our targets, and then Michael can save one of his creatures with Arcane Ravager, which will likely kill us because he has 3 other artifacts to sacrifice to it. He can make it an 8/8. That's lethal, and he can put 1 counter on it from the drum, or probably drum or the opal, and then put 6 counters on champion to make that at least an 8/8. So we essentially need to assign 8. We would need to assign, I guess, max 9 to the Etched Champion and 8 to the Ravager, which would require 2 more triggers that we don't have. So I think we're actually going to need to use Primeval Titan as a blocker, which means, and I guess we're going to 6 anyway, so yeah, everything's pretty lethal. So I think we actually just have to forego the added triggers. But that
just means Champion's going to go and block here.
Yeah, exactly. That we can't block Champion, and he can just go all in on that. So are we just dead? I think Etched Champion might have just done it.
Etched Champion.
Because we have 18 damage with Primeval Titan through the breach by itself, and he can prevent 2 of it by blocking. So we only have 16. That'll leave Michael at 4. And it can't Summer's Pact for anything else.
Oh, I can just block your Primeval Titan.
Yeah, that prevents 2 of it though, because Primeval Titan tramples.
No, I mean just.
Oh yeah, sure. So you can prevent the full 6. So I really only have 12. Yeah, I don't think this is good enough then. Needed.
Missing that land drop was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, even if I had a 6th land, I don't think that really does much. I guess if I had drawn land, then I'd be able to get the requisite 6 triggers I need to kill your entire board. I could prime time first, get my 4 triggers, and then play a land after combat, and presumably finish off whichever creature you go all in on. So,
sure, yeah.
But unfortunately, instead of a land, I drew an Oath of Nissa. So, yeah, I'm dead.
Wow, that game I think I actually played great.
Okay, here for sideboarding, and we got some good ones on my side. 3 more Anger the Gods. We have full 4 and 2 Shatterstorms, which is about the best card possible in the format. So moving into a slower, more controlling role, because the Affinity deck's a little bit faster. Cutting the Nahiri because this is more for like control decks. It just sort of dies and doesn't really help me race in any way. Cutting a couple of the ramp spells and then one of our big spells at the end because we'll have enough time with all of these sweepers to just draw naturally into the combo.
No hard hate cards like Blood Moon on my side, but I do have Spell Pierce, which is probably just going to be good at every single stage of the game, whether just slowing Ross down by taking out a ramp spell or hitting a sweeper removal spell.
Even a Summoner's Pact, usually impacting the turn I'm casting the Titans.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Just basically, as long as I'm not getting Primeval Titan, it's probably going to be good whenever I have it. So pretty happy to have that. And then cards I'm taking out. Not sure exactly if I'm supposed to shave 2 Galvanic Blasts. Can definitely see some scenarios where Blast shaves a full turn off the clock. But especially with Ross getting a little bit more controlling and presumably slower post-board, I think just drawing a critical mass of spells might be bad because I do need to put a lot of pressure on him. And Etched Champion is pretty medium. It doesn't interact well with Shatterstorm, and Ross can kind of just go over the top of it when he's ready to kill me, and it doesn't represent a ton of power by itself. So
And it dies to Valakut.
Yeah, and it dies to Valakut. So join us in the moment for games.
Okay, here for game 3, and I've mulliganed to 6 again, but this is a very good 6. You got a lot of cheap action, ways to find what we need, a ramp spell. Definitely going to keep.
Over on my side, I'm not 100% sure on this hand. I'm on the draw, and if I hit like a 0 mana creature or even a 1 mana creature, then no, I guess I wouldn't do it. But a 0 mana creature makes my hand very, very, very good. And even if I brick, I think my turn 2 and beyond is powerful enough to where I should keep this hand, so I will.
Okay, I will scry. And I think we can do without drawing that. I will play Forest and suspend a search.
Sure. Okay.
A foil search for tomorrow. Someone upstairs must like me. Okay. I will play this Oath of Nissa.
Yep.
And can't take the one I really want, but...
Ooh, one on the bottom. Well, I guess it's getting shuffled next turn, but...
I will take Obstinate Baloth. Don't think I need another land. And... So... We can... get an ETB tap lane into play, and or I guess we'll just give ourselves options.
All right. So I guess play this first.
The mountain.
And
now our Path to Exiles are great.
I have an island in my deck too.
Tilt. Really? I didn't think Siggy played both basics. It's a thing newer Affinity lists are sometimes doing. They're shaving one of the Glimmer Voids and playing both a mountain and an island, so the opponent's Path to Exiles are worse. And Path has definitely picked up recently in Modern, so it makes some sense.
I'm too stupid to play this deck. All right, so if I do these two...
You have to just play all 5 cards. Just put them all into play.
Can I do everything if I do it this?
Probably.
Do these two, tap this. No, I can't. Okay.
That's unlucky.
All right. I think I care about this card more than this card because this card's going to get worse if we get bolted anyways. So I could lead out with this, I suppose, but I think just getting this down has a way higher upside. So I'll play Steel Overseer. And I will play Arcbound Ravager.
I will respond by cracking this fetch. And I think I'm just going to take 3 and get a Stomping Ground because I want a second green source for Baloth, and I don't really want to find another forest. So I'm at 17.
Cool.
Upkeep. We will search and hopefully find tomorrow because it's missing. You have 3 cards in hand?
Yep.
Even though it's going to cost us a bit of life, I think the fact that we held up the bolt and were able to tag Overseer with it is going to be very important. So, draw. And yeah, it is going to cost us some life. So, I'll go to 15 and then back up to 19.
Yep.
You can go.
It's actually a good draw. Let's see if I got drum and thing. I can't equip as well. I think I just need to put. Oh goodness. You only have 2 cards left?
Yeah, I've played 4 things in the first 3 turns of the game.
Me too.
Granted, one of them replaced itself, but I also mulligan and was on the play. Hence your 2-card advantage. I'm doing okay though. You only you haven't really gotten to attack yet.
So the issue is I can't do this and equip and do this and attack. So that's kind of why I'm struggling to figure out what I want to do here.
Well, you can't always get what you want.
It's true.
Somebody said that.
Somebody did, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. I'm killing this thing. That's step 1. And then I guess it doesn't matter. I guess I can stay at 20 for whatever relevance that might have in the future. I suppose I could leave up Nexus if I don't do this. I don't think that's better though. Play drum. I'm gonna eat 1 issue.
I'm at 17.
Go.
Okay, need some good draws here. That's a pretty good one, although might have to wait a bit on it.
Plating.
Ugh.
Equip. Attack.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. So I take 9.
6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
You gain 7.
Yep.
I'm at 8, and you're at 20. You're at 27.
Yep. Go.
And think I'm dead. Guess I can draw. I'm at 8. I can draw a mountain. Every time I need a land. I guess actually this could find me PN Cure, and that would be excellent.
Yeah, that would be good.
Or it can find me 3 instants and sorceries.
Jeez.
Yeah, I had another Valakut with the Primeval Titan.
Okay.
Just tapped out every turn of the game for the first 3 turns, so didn't have a chance to get them down. Okay, here for game 4, and have a pretty reasonable 7. We can do some ramping. We got some stuff to cast, so I'm going to keep.
My hand's definitely good. I think it's going to be weird. I'm pretty sure this is how we're going to win the game. But we'll see.
Okay, I think I can afford to save some life and just get the basic forest here. And go to 19. Cast an Oath of Nissa.
Yep.
And take the only card we can. You can go.
Okay. Play Springleaf Drum and some stuff. Your turn.
Okay. Well, I kind of think we're going to want to block something more substantial with our Tribe Elder, so I will Farseek this turn instead. Get a Stomping Ground. You can go.
Okay. Play Ravager. Hit you for 1.
19.
Go.
18, yeah, that's a thing. Now I can play Cinderglade and cast these 2 Sakura Tribe Elders. Actually, yeah, I'll play a Forest, actually. 3, 4, 5. Does it matter? No, this is better. Yeah, Cinderglade. It's the same if we don't draw a mountain, and better if we do.
Huh. Okie dokie.
This is where I just died Ink Moth.
Yeah, I think so.
What?
Not this turn, but in 2 turns. What is actually safer? So I definitely want to have this available. Yeah, so definitely activating this. Do I want to sacrifice this? I think is the big question. I think the answer, so I can say 2, 3, and I need 1 more counter basically. I need to figure out where that's going to come from. Yeah, all right. These are my 4 willing recruits.
Yeah, 5 poison.
Go.
Crack these, get a couple mountains. If we draw through the breach here, we can... I guess that's only... yeah, should have played the Forest last turn, I guess. Because if I draw through the breach this turn, then I will be able to... I would have been able to kill you. Now I think I'm just dead.
I might actually get punished for not using this earlier, but I thought this was the best way to cover myself. But the double Sakura Tribe draw was kind of weird. But I am protected from Shatterstorm, so that's nice.
Yep. And I just have Pact for Titans, so I'm dead.
Oh, Spell Pierce hit.
Yeah, I was only going to have 7 mana. Okay, back here for game 5, hoping to avoid the humiliating sweep here and have a hand that can do it, so I'm going to keep.
Well, for the 5th time, I'm on the draw. Took a mulligan to 6. This hand's not great, but I think it's capable of getting us there. And that is excellent. Yes, we'll keep that.
Okay, I'm going to go to 17 for Stomach Ground and suspend.
Yep. All right. Take 2. Go.
So you're at 18. Draw. I will play Valakut and pass.
Don't think that's what we wanted to see. Attack you for 1.
16, 19.
Play Ravager.
Sure.
Play Mox Opal. Go.
Now, I'd like a second green source for Primeval Titan, so I'll find a forest. And I will play an Anger.
Spell Pierce it.
Tilt. Okay, then.
Okay, that's actually pretty good too. Make a red. Sec. play cranial plating.
That is indeed good.
Equip here, because I don't want too much damage to get prevented by lightning bolt. And combat.
So you have 4 artifacts. That's 7 now.
Yeah, let me figure out if I want to animate a nexus. I assume I do. Yeah. Don't think anything too bad can happen.
So 8, and you gain 1.
Yep.
I'm at 8, you're at 20.
Go.
Okay, let's try this again.
Maybe bad things can happen. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. Did not play around another anger plus lightning bolt. So I feel like this is valuable, but the plating is also pretty valuable. This is really interesting. So if I keep plating, then any mana source is very good. I guess it's not very good. It's plus 2 points of damage, basically. Ross is at 8, and 2 points is fairly substantial at that point. Especially if you start to factor in fetch lands. But I also have to animate my Nexus before I use Mox Opal as a mana source. Could also just let these two die, but then Bolt on Nexus is really a problem. What does that do? So if I let these two die and then animate this and equip it with cranial plating on the following turn, that's 4 points of poison. He bolts it, and then I'm probably just in a worse spot overall. I'm really not sure, but I'm going to do this. Right.
Okay. Bolt Ravager.
Yep.
You can go.
Ooh. That stinks. All right.
7.
Go.
Land, please. Yeah, that'll do it. Cinderglade through the breach.
Sure.
And in response, I'll do that. Well, so I have 3 mountains right now, so I can get Valakut Mountain with the first trigger, and then 2 more mountains with the second.
Is that just lethal?
It's 18.
Okay.
No, 18 is a pretty key number with the deck. So 18 you.
All right, I'm at 2.
You can go.
Now, basically every card is lethal.
Yeah, I have a Tri-Bolter left over.
So if I kept plating, what would have happened? I think he would have died.
How? Would you have been able to plating last turn?
Yeah. So like animate Nexus, play Opal, equip, hit you to I would have dealt you 2 more points last turn, right? So you would have been at 5.
You animate Nexus.
Yeah, so animate Nexus, then Metalcraft's online. I have plating in play.
Play Opal.
Equip
this Opal's in your graveyard,
yeah.
presumably.
And then
that's 4.
Yeah, and then this turn, animate equip, blast you. Crap.
Yep.
I blew it. That was a hard decision. I'm not sure what's right. All right, back here for the conclusion of Affinity versus Red-Green Breach. I won a little bit more decidedly than I thought I would.
Yeah,
I punted game 5 and could have just had that one as well.
Yeah, I had some slower draws. It's possible I needed to mulligan even more aggressively to find faster draws in this matchup, but I kept slower hands that had interaction, so presumably you would expect those hands to be good enough. You just use the interaction to buy yourself time, but a couple of those games, I felt like I was really close to turning it around, and that happens a lot in Modern, where a game will end pretty abruptly or pretty quickly, and if you're just looking at it on the surface, it looks like a blowout, but if you look at what the deck was capable of, the losing deck at least, and how close they were to just sort of turning the game around with whatever powerful effect they have, the game can be a lot closer than it seemed, and I think that happened a couple times.
Yeah, nobody really gets buried. It's like one turn cycle is just enough or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, you had that. You were ahead by a turn cycle despite being on the draw every game.
Draw every game. Go Affinity. I haven't played Affinity in 10 years. So that was fun. Yeah, the deck seems really good.
The deck is very good and very complicated.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky to figure out how to play with Ravager. Game 5, I made a decision to get an extra point of damage by animating my Blinkmoth Nexus, and I got punished pretty badly by Anger plus Lightning Bolt, which I think is the worst case scenario. And then immediately after the turn where Ross played both spells, then I had to decide which artifact to sacrifice, and immediately drew Mox Opal when I decided to keep it, so that was pretty bad. So
you should have known.
It's just, yeah, I mean, there's like really...
Just rub the top of your deck.
Those difficult little... small percentage plays. And honestly, I'm sure there's an actual best correct play there. It's just I don't have like the wealth of experience to figure that out.
I mean, there's a statistically correct play. You can just go through and figure out what your sequence of draws over those 2 turns is. And
yeah, but I mean, you can't figure that out in a tournament scenario.
Yeah,
so.
you would have to do that well in advance of the tournament.
That's more, an inherent experience knowledge with the deck. So
yeah, there are so many of those situations it would be impossible to go over all of them, even in years. If you were spending 8 years preparing for a single Modern tournament.
Sure. But I mean, some people have. They've been playing Affinity for 8 years. So I guess those are the folks that play it no matter what, even though it seems bad, I guess, on paper. But when you're just so good and so experienced with a really powerful deck, then that's kind of how you get at your edge in Modern. So.
Yeah, that's just how Modern works. People, I think in general, even outside of Modern, a lot of players get too hung up on metagaming, and they have this dream in their head of trying to find the perfect deck for a tournament. They sort of roll through the tournament just on the strength of their deck alone. They don't really have to try in the games, and like they feel so much smarter than their opponents.
That
and
just never works.
Yeah, that's just not how Magic works, and especially not how Modern works.
Yeah, you could play against anything.
Yeah, so if you're trying to make your decision based off of the metagame every single week, especially in Modern, you need to start... unless you're putting in 100 hours or something a week, or 50 hours a week, maybe preparing with every deck so that you actually just know all of them, then you should probably just go with the deck that you know the best.
Yep, agreed. So that's why I always pick Grixis Control and get mediocre finishes. But,
yeah, so you're taking a deck that should be really, really bad and leveling it up to mediocre.
Bringing it up to mediocre. But yeah, I definitely agree with everything you say, and don't play Grixis Control.
Yeah. So if you are still fretting about what to play at the SCG Tour Stop in Orlando this weekend, just go with the deck you know.
Yep. And if you know either of these 2 decks, I think both are great choices. So.
Yep.
But I will be in Orlando. Despite time travel, I've already booked my flight, so I'm definitely going to be there.
I am laboring over the decision, which will probably cost me money when I finally book the flight.
Yeah, every day it goes up.
I'm sure I'll cave eventually, but I've been mulling it over. It's like a nice quick flight.
Yeah, it's easy. So I'm definitely doing it. But yeah, either join us there in person or on SCG Live. Check out Cedric and Patrick commentating. They great.
Yeah,
we great.
We don't need to say any more about them. You know.
Yep.
You're aware.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Later.